The Old Trails fire jumped a river, burned through a state park, and drove straight into city neighborhoods all in a single afternoon. Jumped, burned, drove. Three things a fire should not be able to do inside an American city, and it did all three before dark. 640 structures destroyed, 60,000 people forced from their homes, entire city blocks reduced to foundations. This is the worst natural disaster the Spokane region has ever faced, and all three fires are still 0% contained this morning. Here's why this fire cannot be stopped on Saturday. Relative humidity in Spokane dropped to just 11%. That is desert dry. In a city. Washington State is in its fourth consecutive year of drought, and fuel moisture values are sitting at the 90th to 95th percentile statewide. Nearly every year in recorded history had wetter fuels than Washington has right now, and Saturday it got the spark. This is August 3rd, 2026 Spokane Wildfire, and so let's get right into it. Every fire, every number, every story you need to know right now. 400 families woke up without their homes, 640 structures destroyed in total. Entire blocks on Indian Trail and 5 Mile Prairie reduced to bare foundations. A homeowner who survived described watching the aerial response from his yard helicopters timed on water drops, planes rotating through retardant passes. He called it a dance in the sky, and that coordinated dance kept the fire 150 to 200 yards from his front door. His neighbor, one house away, lost everything a home purchased from the late Charlie Morrison and his family just a few years ago. Gone. 2 houses side by side, one saved by the dance, one lost because the dance arrived 50 yards too late. That is the brutal arithmetic of wildfire, and it is playing out across 400 properties in northwest Spokane right now. The Spokane Complex, Old Trails, Fairview, and Autumn Lane has burned 7,700 combined acres and is now under California Interagency Incident Management Team 15. At least 60,000 residents ordered to evacuate, 409 families sheltered overnight at the Spokane Convention Center. FEMA grants are now approved. 100 Washington National Guard members remain deployed supporting traffic control, emergency management, and community operations. The Fairview fire stopped its forward progression at noon yesterday, 981 acres, crews strengthening containment lines and mopping up hotspots. The Autumn Lane fire near 9 Mile Falls, 792 acres, 0% contained burning on both sides of the river simultaneously. Aviation assets are flying all day as conditions allow, and if you are near Autumn Lane, keep drones completely grounded. For Spokane families who lost everything, call 1-800-733-2767 for American Red Cross disaster relief and recovery support around the clock. To help your neighbors, the Spokane Complex Wildfire Emergency Relief Fund is open at goinovia.org/ Spokane Complex Wildfire. Now let's talk about the Sinlahekin Fire, because this one doubled in a single afternoon and is not getting the attention it deserves. The Sinlahekin Fire in Okanogan County went from 36,000 to 74,000 acres in one afternoon, doubling in size while Spokane was already burning. Embers were flying more than a mile ahead of the main fire front, igniting new spot fires continuously through the afternoon and evening. The Modrite Fire in Ferry County grew 17,500 acres in one day. Containment collapsed from 63% to 30% overnight, 37,000 total acres. Level 3 Go Now covers all areas west of the Okanogan River to Oroville. Palmer Mountain included. Leave immediately if you are there. The Kaiser Canyon Fire, 131 Izuzuren to 134,000 acres. That is over 200 square miles from a single fire, with 1,000 personnel assigned. North winds push against the fire's previous direction of spread that could give crews a genuine window to establish new containment lines. It is not relief, it is a brief pause, and fire managers will use every hour of that pause to get ahead of this fire. Nationally, 102 large fires are burning this morning. Washington alone has 16 of them, and 1,000 individual fires have ignited across the state in 2026. Now into Utah, where the Widemouth 2 fire remains, in the official words of fire management, unstoppable under current conditions. The official statement is unchanged. No amount of resources will stop this forward progression, and the fire's true size is still unknown. Smoke is so dense over the Widemouth 2 that crews cannot get an accurate map. The last confirmed figure was 437 acres. No structures have been lost yet, despite the catastrophic fire behavior. Crews are holding the line on the flanks through extraordinary effort. If you are east of the I-15 between Fillmore and Kanosh, please leave before you feel like you have to. Do not wait! Johnson Canyon Fire, northwest of Tremonton, Utah, 3,500 to 4,000 acres, 0% contained. Dozer line still incomplete. Into Idaho, where the Big Rock Fire has now expanded into Madison County, and Kelly Canyon Resort is in the direct threat zone. Big Rock is at 2,500 acres, 0% contained shelter at South Fork Elementary, 7163 South 2000 West, Rexburg. All services free. Moose Mountain Fire is also a new large incident in Idaho as of yesterday, part of the 7 new large fires reported nationwide. Into Montana, where the Sand Creek and Middle Coulee fires emerged as new large incidents yesterday, bringing Montana to 9 large fires. 9 large fires in Montana with lighter winds expected today compared to the weekend, but the fuels remain the driest ever recorded here. In Nevada, the Antelope Creek Fire has emerged as a new large incident, adding to the 6 large fires already burning in that state. Wyoming's Left Creek Fire is newly large, and in Florida, the Bluegill Fire in Everglades National Park is a reminder this crisis is not regional. In southern Oregon, the I-5MM57NB fire named after the mile marker where it ignited because this fire started on the highway itself. A fire named after an interstate mile marker, that is where we are in this fire season, on the highway in the passing lane. Now let's step back and look at the full national picture, because what these images show is something we need to sit with for a moment. As of today, Oregon has 33 large fires and Washington has 16 combined. That is 49 large fires in 2 states alone. The year-to-date comparison is sobering. 2026 has burned 5.15 million acres through August 3rd, the worst in 4 years. Compare that to 2023, just 3 years ago, which had burned only 1.25 million acres by this same date. 2026 has burned 4 times as many acres as 2023 had burned by August 3rd, 4 times in the same number of days. Only 2022 and 2017 have had more acreage at this date in the last decade, and both of those years finished as historic fire seasons. Washington doubled its firefighting budget to $120 million this year. Even that is being tested hard, and 200 firefighters are now engaged nationwide. Complex incident management teams, 2 national incident management organizations, and international teams from Australia and New Zealand. 4 MAVs, C-130 military air tankers remain deployed to Klamath Falls, and Reading, the U.S. military is flying wildfire missions tonight. Now let's talk weather, because today's forecast is genuinely different from the weekend, and that difference matters enormously. The western portion of the cold front that drove Saturday's disaster is weakening and stalling in the central Great Basin and central Rockies. Stalling, that's when a weather system runs out of energy and stops moving, and a stalling front still delivers wind and low humidity. Great Basin and Central Rockies today wind gusts of 25 to 35 miles per hour, relative humidity dropping to 4 to 15%. That is still elevated to locally critical fire weather, not as extreme as Saturday, but not safe for any active fire in those areas. The Pacific Northwest and Northern Rockies see lighter winds today. This is the window firefighters have been waiting for all weekend. Cooler than average temperatures across the inland Northwest, Northern Rockies, and Northern Great Basin, a genuine improvement. But across California, the Southern Great Basin and the Southwest, it remains extremely hot, above 100 degrees at lower elevations. The Southern Plains see extreme heat at or above 105 degrees today. Dallas, Oklahoma City, San Antonio are all in dangerous territory. East of the Mississippi, cooler than normal, with rounds of moderate to heavy rain and scattered to numerous thunderstorms. The Southeast is finally getting some relief, but the East's rain does not reach the West, and the West is where the emergency is. Monsoon moisture is increasing across southeast Arizona and southwest into northeast New Mexico. Genuine wet thunderstorms for the Four Corners. Isolated to scattered wet and dry thunderstorms are also possible for Colorado, northern Wyoming, and Montana east of the Continental Divide. Dry thunderstorms in Montana, that's lightning without rain, remain a concern today given how dry the fuels are across that state. All right, let's get into the extended forecast, because what happens this week determines how bad the next fire weather event could be. What does the best fire weather of the week actually look like today and tomorrow? Lighter winds, slightly higher humidity across the Northwest. Fire managers are using every hour of this window. Roe Creek Complex near Fossil, Oregon gets winds of 5 to 7 miles per hour today. That is the first time in a week that Roe Creek's forecast has looked manageable. Crews are pushing hard on containment lines right now. By Tuesday and Wednesday, the heat ridge rebuilds. That's the high-pressure dome that bakes the west and blocks incoming moisture. When it rebuilds, temperatures across California, Nevada, Utah, and Arizona ramp back up, and the improvement window begins to close. Now, the system I have been watching all week, the one being tracked for August 5th and 6th here, is the honest picture. The GFS and European models are not in agreement. This morning's run looks different from yesterday and different again from the run before that. When models are this inconsistent, this close to an event, that tells us the atmosphere itself is uncertain, and I will not pretend otherwise. Best case scenario for August 5th, the system stays offshore. Wind impacts on fire zones are minimal, and the working window extends. Middle scenario, another dry cold front, similar to Saturday's strong winds, no rain, disrupting every containment line being rebuilt this week. Worst case, a stronger event than Saturday, arriving while 74,000 acres of Sinlahekin and the Spokane complex are still at 0%. Under the worst case, every major fire in the Pacific Northwest simultaneously experiences extreme growth under conditions worse than last weekend. We will have a much clearer picture by tomorrow, and I will post a dedicated update the moment the models lock in on a solution. No meaningful rainfall is in the forecast for Pacific Northwest fire zones in the next 7 days. Oregon, Washington, Idaho, all dry. The NIFC outlook through September shows above normal fire risk for the entire Pacific Northwest this season. Does not end soon. The one genuinely encouraging forecast, Minnesota's Superior National Forest fires have a 40 to 50% rainfall chance this week. Bear Trap, Thumb, and Sioux fires in the Boundary Waters may finally get moisture relief, the only bright spot in the extended outlook. Before we close your action items today, organized by state with every shelter and every road you need to know. Spokane KIMT 15 has command. FEMA is approved. Red Cross is operating shelters. Call 1-800-733-2767 for recovery support. Okanagan County, Washington, Sinlahekin Fire Level 3. Go now west of the Okanagan River, including Palmer Mountain and the area to Oroville. Utah, east of the I-15 from Fillmore to Kanosh. Widemouth 2 behavior remains catastrophic. Leave now if you feel any concern at all. Big Rock Fire near Heisey, Idaho Kelly Canyon is now in the threat zone shelter at South Fork Elementary. Rexburg, all services free. Southern Oregon, the I-5 near mile marker 57 northbound may still be affected. Check ODOT before driving that corridor today. Montana lighter winds today, but fuels remain the driest ever recorded. No outdoor burning, no campfires, no off-road vehicles. Do not fly drones near any active fire anywhere in the western United States. It grounds aircraft protecting people's homes. This situation is developing across multiple states. Daily updates are coming every morning until the August 5th system is resolved. Like this video, subscribe, and turn notifications on every update post the moment official information is confirmed from NIFC. For the man watching the truck drive away, we do not know if your house is still standing, but we know you are. For the 29,200 firefighters on these fires today, for the dance in the sky over Northwest Spokane, thank you. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe out there. Take care of each other.